What's up, ladies and gentlemen? If you guys caught that little error, sorry about that. We're gonna go ahead and mute the stream here, so you guys don't hear all my damn feedback. So, for whatever reason, this Monday morning, I went to start the stream, and then my phone just was like, no, you're not gonna start the stream. So we had to restart it. Sorry about that little bleep. I'll have to delete that later. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend. So Momentum Monday today, we're going to be covering some inspirational quotes between supersets, as well as health and fitness questions, which I'll provide answers to. We're just going to do one in between each superset. So if you guys do have any questions or quotes that you want to share, throw them in the chat, and we'll get to them in between each superset. Now today I want to do a little bit something different. Rather than rolling straight into the workout, we're going to do a typical warm-up that I like to do. This is something I usually do every single day. And I rotate between a couple different warm-ups, but yeah, this is just basically arm swings, leg swings, just getting all the joints nice and warmed up for exercise. So we'll just run through this really quick, and then we'll get into the suspension trainer workout today, where we'll be doing all the primary movements. So without further ado, let me go ahead and make sure all the stream feedback is muted, so you guys don't hear that, because that's no fun, right? Who wants to hear that? And then we're going to go ahead and get some music rolling, and we'll get our warm-up in. All right, looks good? Yeah, so as I was mentioning earlier, we're just going to do some arm swings, leg swings, get everything nice and loose. And I feel like a big thing when you're doing warm-ups, active warm-ups like this, active stretching, is not getting stuck in a pattern, right? So just letting your arms like kind of flail around and move, that's gonna break up all the tension within your joints and in your body. Just flinging them, let them swing like a pendulum. Bust a couple dance moves. Even if you can't dance, just have fun with it, you know what I'm saying? We'll get some leg swings in there too. Get nice and limber. Same thing here, just let us swing. Alright, so that's a pretty common active stretch warm-up, arm swings, just leg swings. If you need something really quick to get all warmed up, you can also do stuff like ankle rolls. I love to do that. That's just where you're rotating your ankle at 360 degrees, then you switch sides, right? You switch directions rather, just like that. There's a lot of other active stretches you can do, but I'm feeling pretty loose today, I'm feeling pretty limber. So we're gonna go ahead and get into a dynamic stretch. That's going to be a very quick, explosive sort of warm-up, or extended warm-up, if you will. And I'll show you what that looks like. Just an opposite arm, opposite leg, high knees. Butt kickers. And this is like one of my favorites, it's like a mobility, but kind of like a dynamic mobility drill. You go opposite arm, opposite leg, rotations, right? So you go inner rotations first. And as you can see earlier, I like to go forward and backwards to work both of those planes of motion. So just internal rotation with your arm and your leg, and it's opposite arm, opposite leg, right? You meet in the middle, and we walk out with that. And we come backwards with it. Okay? So I'm making it look really easy, but this is really damn challenging. When you do an internal, external rotation with opposite arm, opposite leg. So take time with it and go really slow if you need to, right? So internal rotation, nice and slow. And then add movement once you get used to this internal, external rotation. Next up, we're going to do external rotation. So we're starting inside and then we're going out like that. Like this. And now we're going to add movement to it. Come back. Alright, so that's a pretty typical active and dynamic warm-up that I do before working out. So, before we get to our workout, I want to share with you guys an inspirational quote as well as do a little question for the health and fitness. So we'll start with an inspirational quote here. We'll start with a health and fitness question here. Do you have a guilty pleasure? Absolutely. My guilty pleasure is Cheetos. I freaking love Cheetos. If you put a bag of Cheetos, doesn't matter what kind, although I'm not a big fan of the hot Cheetos. I know that's blasphemy because some of you love the hot Cheetos. Pretty much every other Cheeto you put in front of me, like a bag of it, I'll demolish the whole thing. So I don't keep Cheetos in the house, but a really good strategy if you do want to indulge in like something that you're you have like as a guilty pleasure or vice, is just have small increments of it. So for example, if I did have a big bag of Cheetos in the house, I would immediately, as soon as I get that bag home, I would separate it in smaller Ziploc baggies. And that's honestly the best way that I believe to deal with like cravings, or if you have like a guilty pleasure that you like to get into, is just controlling how much of it you have. Because like I said, I mean, I will destroy, absolutely demolish a full bag of any Cheetos. Doesn't matter if it's like one of those huge ass commercial bags or whatever, you know, just, so it's bad. Make sure you're controlling whatever vice you have or whatever like guilty pleasure you have, and make it less of an issue, right? In small increments, everything is okay, but you know, obviously if you go a little bit overboard on it, it's not going to be the best. All right, so inspirational quotes. For whatever reason, the tab closed, so let me pull it back up here for inspirational quotes. Oh, I love this one. If it will work on, okay. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And that's by Winston Churchill. Boom. Inspiration. Boom. Motivation. Get motivated today. Monday. Remember, motivation actually sucks, but inspiration and momentum is awesome. So keep that in mind. Hope that really helped you guys. We're going to go ahead and get rolling with our first giant set of exercise. That's going to be 4 sets or more of exercise, back-to-back, no rests. We're going to be doing the primary movements on the suspension trainer today. It's just an off-brand TRX pretty much. It's called the WASP trainer. It's like a fraction of the price. It does the same exact stuff. You guys don't have to buy like TRX products, although they're great products. I mean, this is just as good, does the same exact stuff. Fraction of the price, probably a fourth. So we're going to run through the 7 primary movements on the suspension trainer here, wherever the hell it's at. And we're going to go back to back, so no rest in between. swing rotation carry on the suspension trainer. Now we're gonna get into the other 4 primary exercises. We're gonna get it into squat, a press, a row, and then a deadlift. So we're gonna do deadlift first, then a row. Off that giant set. Finish on the road. Going down. Okay, all done with our first giant set there. If you guys notice, there's just different variations you could do. I think the coolest thing about exercise is we're literally doing the same primary movements we'd be doing with dumbbells and barbell, but we're just doing a different variation of it on the suspension trainer. And since if I was doing like a regular squat, you know, like a bodyweight squat, obviously that's really easy, right? So to make it more challenging, something that's going to keep your body responding to the stimulus you put on it, encourage your body to develop muscle, I changed it to a single leg pistol squat on the suspension trainer, and that makes it just as, the stimulus just as like novel, and it'll create a muscle response from my body as if I were to do barbell squats. Now, that being said, if you do like, you know, heavy barbell squats, you're going to get obviously more of a muscle response, but a great way to challenge yourself still is do like single arm, single leg stuff if you're going lighter on weight, and that will definitely still get a great response from your body. So keep that in mind if you guys are trying different variations of exercise and you're not necessarily want to go heavy on weight and stuff. yeah, a little rant for you guys. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat and we'll get to them in real time. Also, if you guys have any inspirational quotes, throw them in the chat as well, and we'll get to them in between our supersets, or rather giant sets today. Our next fitness Q&A. Have you ever been on a diet? If so, how did it go? Yes, this is kind of funny because I'm a big believer of trying all the fad diets, and I've pretty much more or less tried every single fad diet, and when a new one comes out, I try to get on top of it as soon as possible. The reason being is I like to know how it affects my body, and I like to have personal insights into if I have a client that comes to me and is like, hey, what do you think about like this keto diet, or what do you think about this paleo diet, whatever. I always like to have not only the knowledge of the research and stuff behind it, which is first and foremost what I do, but I like to have the personal experience to be like, hey, you know what? Here's something you may struggle with, here's what I struggle with, or like here's what, you know, how I felt going through it. So I just like to have that more personal touch. And same thing with like my workouts and stuff. I will never give my clients workout programs that I don't try myself. That way it's just more relatable to me. And if something's going on like in their body, or they're feeling like a pain or something, I have like just more insight, if that makes sense. All right, next up for the inspirational quote today, we are gonna go with, ooh, this one's a good one. Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope. And that is by Martin Luther King Jr. If I can pronounce my names today. So I'm going to check the chats real quick and make sure you guys haven't put in any questions at all. And then after that, we'll be rolling with the next set of exercise. So, getting that feedback there. There we go. We don't have Ted Face with us during this stream, so he is on the gaming stream later. Gaming and guitar stream later today, by the way. If you guys have any song requests that you'd like to hear in between gaming matches, that will be on the later stream today in the afternoon, evening time. Cool, so it doesn't look like I missed any chats just yet. Feel free, if you guys do have any health and fitness Q&A, throw in the chat, or any inspirational quotes, and we'll get to it after our next giant set. It's going to be giant set number 2. We're going to do 3 total giant sets today, and then we'll get into a cool down. So just as a refresher, what we're doing for the giant sets, it's going to be swing, rotation, carry. That's going to be the first 3. Then it's going to be a squat, which is going to be a single leg squat. Then we're going to go ahead and do a press, which is just going to be a chest press or a push-up. And then we're going to go ahead and do a single leg deadlift and finish up with a row. Alright, swing, rotation, carry all done. Now single leg squat, a push-up, and we're going to go single leg deadlift and rows. Alright, it's kind of funky, I like it. Kind of like Scooby-Doo-like, huh? Jinkies! Kind of makes me want to watch Scooby-Doo. Going down. Woo. Okay, now that we got our Scooby-Doo jams in, alright, we're going to get to our next inspirational quote, as well as fitness Q&A. This time we'll switch it up. Let's start with an inspirational quote. Whew. Let's see here. Okay, the way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain. And that's by Dolly Parton. That's pretty solid. I like that. Inspiration. Ah, you guys feel it? You guys feel it through the stream, through the camera, through the phone thing? Yeah, I know you do. All right, cool. Now you're inspired. Let's go on to the health and fitness Q&A. Do you take health supplements? Yes, I do. I think it's pretty smart for most people to take a multivitamin. That's generally what I take every single day, is just a multivitamin. Outside of that, I do believe in substituting your protein if you have a hard time hitting your protein goal. So, I would recommend doing like a really healthy protein, such as like, if you guys aren't vegan or vegetarian, you could do a collagen protein. It's kind of arguable behind it whether that's, I mean, I would say most vegan and vegetarians probably would be against collagen, maybe. But I don't know, I think that's kind of one of those debatable things, kind of like eggs, right? Because I know some vegetarians do have eggs. So I think collagen protein powder is a really good solid substitute for your protein goals. If it's against your religion, or if you're vegan or vegetarian, that's kind of up to you whether you think that's okay. But the best brand that I could recommend you guys, or one of the best brands I should say, is Vital Proteins. They have a really good collagen protein powder, and I get the unflavored kind always, because why do you want extra ingredients in something that shouldn't have much taste to begin with, right? If you want flavor and taste, just add it to it later. Like for my collagen protein powder, I'll make a oats parfait kind of deal, where I'll do oats, I'll do like hemp milk, excuse me, I'll add like chia seeds, flax seeds, and then I'll put in the collagen protein powder in there, stir it all up, maybe even add some berries and yogurt later to it. But that's a solid way of like completely masking an unflavored protein powder. Outside of that, some actual protein powders outside of collagen will be like whey protein. Whey can be kind of iffy with some people. Some people have like gut issues with it. So I'd recommend a whey isolate. An isolate's going to be easier for your body to digest. So it probably won't cause as much gut issues. If it does cause gut issues, I'd recommend going with more like a collagen-based protein powder, like Vital Proteins. And then you also have like a casein-based protein powder. And if whey messes you up, then casein for sure will mess you up. But for those people that are okay with whey, casein is also a really great protein powder. You can do that stuff like, hour or two before bed, because it's a slow-releasing protein. Casein is also found in cottage cheese and like string cheese, and basically all cheese has like casein, this protein that's a slow-releasing protein. And why it works so good later at night is because it just slowly releases the protein as you sleep throughout. So you can think of like isolate, faster digesting, probably not going to be as much gut issues. Whey, probably about like the middle ground as far as digestion and how long it stays in your system. Casein is like the way end of the spectrum that's going to take a long time, but it's also a slow releasing protein. So good for like if you're resting for long periods or going to sleep, stuff like that. So rant is over. We're going to get to our last giant set, and then we're going to get to a cool down. If you guys have any health and fitness questions, throw them in the chat. I don't know why I keep pointing that way. Hopefully the chat's down this way. I think it's over here somewhere. Bye. So throw your health and fitness questions in the chat. And if you have any inspirational quotes to share today, do that. And we'll get to it after our next giant set. Without further ado, let's get into our next giant set. Some songs make you want to dance a certain way. You guys know what I'm talking about. Oh, had a big burp. Woo! How would you guys dance to this? I'm curious. It's an interesting tempo, interesting bass in the song. Very interesting song. skip song. Okay, so that's our last giant set for today. As you guys remember earlier, if I can catch my breath, that giant set is four back-to-back exercises or more without rest in between them. So right there we just did 7. That's absolutely a giant set. And we did the primary movements today: swing, rotation, carry. We did squat, press. We did a deadlift and then a row. Those are all just different variations. So if you guys didn't catch those, feel free to watch it back. I did 3 sets of the primary movements, and we did a giant set of all those. That's really all it takes for a given workout day. Is just 7 sets of each, or sorry, it'd be 21 sets of each of the 7 primary movements. That's literally all you need for a workout. So it doesn't take a lot of time, y'all. I think I did that in probably like what? Let's see what the timer is. 34 minutes, and I've been doing Q&A and quotes in between, so yeah, it literally only takes you 20-30 minutes to get a solid workout in. So don't make the damn excuse that you don't got time. It doesn't take that much. All right, inspirational quote and health and fitness Q&A, then we're gonna get to a cool down. So let's see your next quote here. This is cool. Keep your face always toward the sunshine and shadows will fall behind you. That's by Walt Whitman. I really like that quote. That is freaking awesome. All right, on to the health and fitness Q&A. What is your morning routine? So my morning routine is I'm literally streaming it for you guys. So more or less that active warm-up and dynamic warm-up that you guys saw me do before I started the workout on today's stream, that's what I do every single morning. The only thing that I add to it is I do a little light static stretch, right? So I do 5 to 10 second holds, which the static stretch is going to be like our cool down that we'll get to right after this. So I just do 5 to 10 seconds holds. When in reality, when you're doing a typical static stretch, you go for like 20 to 30 second hold. And the reason why I do only a 5 to 10 second first thing in the morning is because I'm not trying to relax all my muscles necessarily. I'm just trying to see if there's any tight muscles. If there's any really tight muscles when I do this quick static stretch in the morning, I'll spend a little bit of time actually static stretching them because those muscles are really overactive and really tight. Now, you only want to do that before activity at the start of your day for muscles that are really, really tight. You don't want to necessarily static stretch them because static stretching makes your muscles more elastic. You can think of like a rubber band, right? The more elastic a rubber band becomes, the weaker it becomes, right? So if right at the beginning of your day, if you do a bunch of static stretching, you're making your muscles really relaxed, and you could think of elastic, but they're not going to be necessarily very strong, okay? So that's why I do really light and easy, quick static stretch first thing in the morning. And then, like I said, if anything's really, really tight, then I'll actually static stretch it, loosen it up a little bit. And then I follow that up with an active warm-up, which is like arm swings, leg swings, stuff where you're moving around, and then a dynamic warm-up, which is more explosive. That's like high knees, opposite arm, opposite leg raises, stuff like that. And if you guys, again, need an active warm-up example, feel free to watch it earlier in the stream. I covered the first like 5 minutes or so. Yeah, so that's my typical warm-up. I make sure I drink about 30 to 40 ounces of water the first hour or 2 of my day, just to really get all your joints nice and hydrated, get your body nice and hydrated. I aim to do about anywhere from 100 to 120 ounces of water per day. So if you knock out a big portion of that in the morning, right, when you can go to the bathroom, right, and stuff like that, because a lot of people complain about throughout their workday and stuff, I don't want to drink a ton of water because I'm going to go to the bathroom. Well, if you knock out about 30, 40 ounces in the morning, first thing when you wake up, chances are you'll still, you'll have to go to the bathroom and you'll still be at home, right? So that kind of solves that problem. And then you only have about another 60 to 80 ounces for the whole entire day. So it's great to knock out like goals such as your hydration earlier in the morning. Same thing with like your protein goals. If you knock out more protein with your first meal, it's just less you have to worry about later. So solid kind of idea there. But yeah, hydrate, active stretching, that's pretty much my daily morning routine. Outside of that, I'll do a little bit of reading. I like to do like daily devotional stuff. I'll read some, I have like in the back of my Bible, I have a 365, like read the Bible in a year kind of thing. So I read like maybe a couple chapters of whatever the plan says to complete it in a year. But yeah, any sort of reading, like really helps as well. So outside of that, that's pretty much all I do every single morning. So without further ado, we're going to hop into our cool down. And let me just scan real quick. Okay, cool. Not missing any chats. Awesome. All right, so for the cool down, I like to do a nice and chill vibe slash music, right? Chill slash vibe slash music, you know what I'm saying. And then I also like to focus on my breathing too. Deep breath in and out, and work on visualizations, really just calming my body, relaxing my mind. And when you do all those things, a cool down becomes really solid, and you basically allow your body to release all that tension it's holding on to. When done correctly, you should feel pretty relaxed and tired even at the end of your cool down. So let's get into it. just like I said, if you focus on breathing, visualizations, when you're doing your static stretch cool down, you feel really relaxed and really calm. Like right now, I feel so decompressed. I feel like I can literally go take a nap right now. That's how you should feel when you get a solid cool down. Great to do before bed too. If you're having trouble sleeping, doing some static stretching and some breathing and some calming visualizations. All right, so we're gonna finish up with one last inspirational quote as well as one last health and fitness Q&A. This is awesome. The quickest way to double your money is to fold it, over and put it back in your pocket. Will Rogers. All right. So I hope all these quotes are like really inspirational for y'all today. Just keep in mind, you don't need a lot of time for a solid workout. You only need like 15 to 30 minutes, so don't make that excuse. Get your damn workouts in. Start Monday off right with momentum, which is going to carry you into the rest of the week. And then one last health and fitness Q&A before I'm going to sign off today. What do you eat on a typical day? So I typically eat 2 different meals. I do a oats parfait. If you guys caught that earlier, I was talking about that. Basically just oats. I do like hemp milk in it. I'll throw in some protein powder, like Vital Protein's collagen powder. And no, I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. It's just a solid protein powder. I do like berries in that, maybe flax seeds, chia seeds. And I do, actually I put olive oil in it as well. And I mix all that up. That's usually around like 500 to 600 calories for one of those. I'll do 2 of those a day. And then I'll also do a crock pot mixture of vegetables. I'll throw in a bunch of different colored veggies, like I'll do like squash, butternut squash, I'll do like green beans, cucumber, celery hearts, I'll do like rainbow carrots, just getting a lot of different colors in there. And then I'll put in some low sodium, high protein bone broth. The brand that I like is Pacific. Their brand that has like unsalted bone broth with its high protein, it's like 9 or 10 grams per 8 ounces or something like that. Anyway, I pour 2 32-ounce containers of the bone broth in there, and I set that crock pot to high, let it cook for like 4 hours. You can throw a lot of other stuff in there too, but that's generally what I put in there. So I have 2 of those meals with that crock pot style of bone broth and veggies. All I do with that meal is I just add rice to it and a little bit of olive oil, and sometimes gluten-free bread or almond flour crackers and stuff. And yeah, those are my 4 meals a day. And then sometimes I'll add like another one of those for 5, but that generally gets me like 2,500 to 3,000 calories, those 4 meals alone throughout the day. So that's generally what I eat. I hope you guys are finding this content entertaining, informational. If not, let me know what I could do to make it entertaining and informational for y'all if I could talk. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend and that you get your Mondays off started right with a lot of momentum. Boom, carry that into the rest of the week. You know, carry it, yeah? You know what I'm saying? Carry it, yeah? All right, anyways, we're going to get a gaming guitar song request stream later today, around maybe like 4 or 5 PST, PM PST, for all of you that are watching other time zones. And we're going to be doing some gaming. We're going to be doing some guitar covers. So when you guys throw your song requests in the chat, I'll go ahead and cover it. Even if I have no idea what the song is, I'll do my best attempt. So yeah, if you want to get in on some song requests later, as well as some gaming, hop in that stream later today around 4 or 5 p.m. PST. Hope you guys are going to have a great rest of your Monday and a great week. I'll see you on the next stream. Peace.